Hello, everyone. This is a reading from the Book of Wisdom and Destiny. This is literary practice, so I won't be going at any particular speed. Just make sure you just try to keep up and do the best you can. I'm practicing as well, so I know what you're going through. Okay, ready for this literary? Let's begin. Today, misery is the disease of mankind, as disease is the misery of man. And even as there are physicians for disease, so should there be physicians for human misery. But can the fact that disease is, unhappily, only too prevalent render it wrong for us ever to speak of health, which were indeed as though, in anatomy, the physical science that has most in common with morals, the teacher confined himself exclusively to the study of the deformities that greater or lesser degeneration will induce in the organs of man. We have surely the right to demand that his theories be based on the healthy and vigorous body, as we have also the right to demand that the moralist who fain would see beyond the present hour should take as his standard the soul that is happy, or that at least possesses every element of happiness, save only the necessary consciousness. We live in the bosom of great injustice, but there can be, I imagine, neither cruelty nor callousness in our speaking at times, as though this injustice had ended. Else should we never emerge from our circle. It is imperative that there should be some who dare speak and think and act as though all men were happy. For otherwise, when the day comes for destiny to throw open to all the people's garden of the promised land, what happiness shall the others find there? What justice? What beauty or love? It may be urged, it is true, that it were best, first of all, to consider the most pressing needs. Yes, yet is this not always wisest? It is often of better avail from the start to seek that which is highest. When the waters beleaguer the home of the peasant in Holland, the sea or the neighboring river having swept down the dike that protected the country, most pressing is it then for the peasant to safeguard his cattle, his grain, his effects, but wisest to fly to the top of the dike, summoning those who live with him, and from thence meet the flood and do battle. Humanity up to this day has been like an invalid tossing and turning on his couch in search of repose, but therefore none the less have words of true consolation come only from those who spoke as though man were freed from all pain. For as man was created for health, so was mankind created for happiness. And to speak of its misery only, though that misery be everywhere and seem everlasting, is only to say words that fall lightly and soon are forgotten. Why not speak as though mankind were always on the eve of great certitude, of great joy? Thither, in truth, is man led by his instinct, though he never may live to behold the long wished for tomorrow. It is well to be believed that there needs but a little more thought, a little more courage, more love, more devotion to love, a little more eagerness, one day to fling open wide the portals of joy and of truth, and this thing may still come to pass. Let us hope that one day all mankind will be happy and wise, and though this day never should dawn, to have hope for it cannot be wrong. And in any event, it is helpful to speak of happiness to those who are sad, that thus at least they may learn what it is that happiness means. They are never inclined to regard it as something beyond them, extraordinary, out of their reach. But if all who may count themselves happy were to tell, very simply, what it was that brought happiness to them, the others would see that between sorrow and the joy the difference is but as between a gladsome, enlightened acceptance of life and a hostile, gloomy submission, between a large and harmonious conception of life and one that is stubborn and narrow. Quote, "Is that all?" Question mark, close quotes, the unhappy would cry. Quote, "But we too have within us, then, the elements of this happiness." Close quotes. "Surely you have them within you. There lies not a man but has them, those only accepted upon whom great physical calamity has fallen. But speak not lightly of this happiness. There is no other. He is the happiest man who best understands his happiness, for he is of all men most fully aware that it is only the lofty ideal, the untiring, courageous, human idea that separates gladness from sorrow. Of this idea it is helpful to speak, and as often as may be, not with the view of imposing our own idea upon others, but in order that they who may listen shall, little by little, conceive the desire to possess an idea of their own. For in no two men is it the same. The one that you cherish may well bring no comfort to me, nor shall all your eloquence touch the hidden springs of my life. Needs must I acquire my own in myself, by myself, but you unconsciously take this the easier for me by telling of the idea that is yours. It may happen that I shall find solace in that which brings sorrow to you, and that which to you speaks of gladness may be fraught with affliction for me. But no matter, into my grief will enter all that you saw of beauty and comfort, and into my joy there will pass all that was great in your sadness, if indeed my joy be on the same plane as your sadness. It behoves us, the first thing of all, to prepare our soul a place of some loftiness, where this idea may be lodged, as the priests of ancient religions laid the mountain peak bare, and cleared it of thorn and of root for the fire to descend from heaven. There may come to us any day, from the depths of the planet Mars, the infallible formula of happiness, conveyed in the final truth as to the aim and the government of the universe. Such a formula could only bring change or advancement unto our spiritual life in the degree of the desire and expectation of advancement in which we might long been living. The formula would be the same for all men, yet would each one benefit only in the portion of the eagerness, purity, unselfishness, knowledge that he had stored up in his soul. And we will stop there on page 11. And it's at no particular speed, but I did pick it up a little bit at the end there, so it'll be somewhat of a challenge. But because this is literary, I didn't want to race through it. Okay, well, I'll see you at the next take, and happy practicing.